It all once Blue Claw's story started when he was deputy. There was a gathering with ShadowClan and ThunderClan. Deadstar was the leader of ThunderClan and Hawkstar was the leader of ShadowClan. He sat there just looking at all the cats, wondering what to do. He was waiting for the leaders to speak, and then a medicine cat stepped up and said, "Marble Shadow." The medicine cat of ThunderClan stepped up. "Hawkstar?" So Hawkstar responded, "Yes." In our clan this moon, sadly, both our leader and Spectrum passed away. I am now leader, and my deputy is Blue Claw. Deadstar spoke. The medicine cat sat on the rock. Blue Claw wondered what was going on, but he just ignored it. Other cats were staring at the medicine cat, wondering why she was up there as well, though they were all mostly talking and listening to the leader. "Since 2 of your apprentices snuck into ThunderClan and I had to use herbs on one of them," the medicine cat spoke. "She didn't sneak into ThunderClan," Hawkstar said. Blue Claw mostly listened, but didn't look or say a word. "Snake Rocks is on ThunderClan territory." "Are you finished, Deadstar?" Hawkstar spoke. "Yes, you may speak," Deadstar responded. Blue Claw didn't really care much. He just sat next to the ShadowClan deputy, not saying a word, letting the leaders speak. "I think it would be fair to have one of your apprentices be my apprentice," Marbled Shadow spoke. His ears perked at these words, listening in even more than he was before. "Just for a moon or 2. So he decided to ignore the ShadowClan leader and look around the cats, looking for his good friend Ferntail, who had been on a hunting patrol with him that he had leaded. And they had been friends ever since. He scanned the cats, his eyes landing on Ferntail. He smiled, then looked at his paws again. He simply ignored every other cat, just apart from the leaders, knowing it was important to listen to them. He sat there, waiting for another one of the leaders to speak, but they didn't really. They were waiting for Hawkstar to speak. "Hawkstar, can you control your apprentices better, if I may speak? One of your white-coated apprentices nearly attacked ours." "Sit back down," Hawkstar said. They sat there basically in silence for a few moments, maybe just a few mumbles coming from the crowd. "Two of our apprentices will soon be ready to become full warriors," Hawkstar snapped. He didn't care about what the other cats had to say about his apprentices being in Snake Rocks. "Don't give them your whole life story," one of the cats snickered towards Hawkstar. This night was cold, snowy, and windy, but all the cats stayed no matter what. They would not miss this gathering. "I thought since Honeystar passed, the leadership over your clan would be at least a smudge more under control," Hawkstar said bravely. Blue Claw then, after these words, ignored the Shadow Clan leader completely, hating him. After saying that, "I'm done talking," he snarled. He got up and walked with a bunch of his cats. The White Chi sneered. "Back to ThunderClan," Deadstar said. Blue Claw rose to his paws, ready to head back to camp. They then all just walked up onto the path where RiverClan was, with ShadowClan maybe having a last few words with them, and then getting ready to go back to camp. They spotted two rogues on the side of the gorge, but really didn't care. Marbled Shadow, the medicine cat, stared at them, and maybe a few other cats, but they didn't really go over. "I don't care what he said, we're low on herbs now," said Marbled Shadow. "We should get back to camp, Deadstar. It's getting cold out," Blue Claw said. They all crossed the RiverClan bridge. Blue Claw, though, stayed behind, but then ran across, not wanting to be left behind. They then went back to when they got there, but they did get there, and that's all that matters. Blue Claw just sat in front of the high rock, he was tired and wondered if anything else interesting would happen. He wondered if there would be maybe a war or anything happening between ShadowClan and ThunderClan after what Hawkstar had said, saying other things that wasn't very nice to the clan, and just saying some bad things. Not much, but yes, some. He sat there just looking at all the cats in front of him. He saw Ferntail, but he just continued to sit down. He was going to go over to Ferntail, but not at the moment. He noticed she was staring at him. Well, he didn't really. He saw, but didn't really care. he did want to go over and talk to her, but he was thinking about a lot right now and couldn't really. So he just sat watching the rest of the cats. They were talking a lot, and there was many cats there in the middle, but there was also other cats sitting on the sides, not interested whatsoever. Blue Claw noticed something was going on, so he got up and went over. The leader and many other cats were sitting there. He walked just around the cats, not really caring, just wondering what they were doing. There was kids talking, there was warriors talking, hardly any apprentices though. Blue Claw decided just to go over and walk into the den, but then he changed his mind. He didn't want to sleep at the moment. He wanted to just stay up and see what was going on. He walked over to Ferntail and sat down. Hey Fern, I'm sorry I haven't been talking to you much. I've been very busy with deputy stuff and all, he said. She looked at him. He waited for a response, and she did respond, but it took a minute. That's okay, she meowed. She smiled, and she looked pretty happy and was all right with it. He sat there wondering what to do now. And then the leader said, "Kick the dog out." And then he wondered, where was a dog? And he said, "I thought it was a cat." And then Blue Claw quickly, well, didn't really quickly walk over, but he walked over. There's a bunch of cats hissing and getting angry, so he walked over. Maybe that was where the dog was. People were growling at the dogs. Well, that's tough because I'm staying. The dog growled and stood up. He was guessing that someone had asked him to get out. "Leave now," Blue Claw said. They stood in front of the door and saw in front of the dog standing their ground. "We will get this whole clan to fight you if you don't leave," Blue Claw said, bravely, not caring that it was a dog he was talking to. The dog was pretty small compared to him and most of the other cats. Well, not most of them. Some of the other cats were bigger than this dog, and so was he. So he didn't care. "Please leave," Deadstar said, trying to use his manners instead of getting into a fight. He put his thorn-sharp claws on the dog's paws. "Leave," Blue Claw said. "I will make the clan attack if you don't leave," Dead Star said angrily. He stepped back and snarled, "Make me." Dead Star hissed. Blue Claw stepped forward. "I don't want to fight you, rude dog," Blue Claw said. The dog's eye seemed to be injured. A cat launched forward again, slamming his talons and jaws into the dog's spine, not showing much mercy for this dog. He raked his claw. The big cat raked his claws down the side of the dog, but the dog jumped, knocking the cat off. But Blue Claw bit into the back of the dog's neck as they were showing no effort to attack. They weren't attacking. They were only dodging and flinging attackers off them. Blue Claw let go, showing a little mercy. The leader growled and then raked his claws, shredding the dog's back. The dog grabbed Blue Claw by the scruff, throwing them against a rock. Blue Claw got up quickly, not caring, as if it hurt not at all. It did. His side was bleeding, but he didn't care. And then the leader snarled. They all stood there staring at the dog, not caring much. The other cat attacked the dog again, clawing their muzzle and slamming his claws into their muzzle and doing many things that would hurt him. He stepped back and ran into Lightning Roar, who was the big cat that kept jumping on him. Lightning Roar hissed, scrambling back up and yowling. Blue Claw watched as these two fought. He felt as if he was doing nothing to help Lightning Roar. No one else seemed to be helping at all. Lightning Roar hopped off onto the rock, then launched an attack to their face, tearing at it. How about to avoid pain, you just leave? Blue Claw yelled as loud as he could. I didn't want to hurt y'all, he growled, then yowled and shook her off. Lightning Roar got back up, growling harshly. It's proven fact that cats and dogs don't get along in this forest. He had told the dog this earlier, a while ago when he knew it was here, though it wasn't hurting much people, and no one seemed to be bothered by it. You won't be able to stay here due to our species, Blue Claw said, as dogs and cats never got along. Lightning Roar rammed himself forward and slammed his jaws down onto the dog's throat. Blue Claw bit the dog's throat with no mercy this time. He pinned the dog, staring into their eyes with anger. The dog began bleeding heavily and fell on with his paws not being able to hold him up much. He clawed the back of their neck, then ripped them apart. Dead started. Then Blue Claw bit the dog's neck, making them faint. "This isn't what I wanted," the dog growled before his head dropped onto his paws and his breathing began to get shallow. "Bring him out of camp, now!" Blue Claw growled because he didn't want him to wake up and then have to fight him all over again. Marble Shadow came over and sat down, said, "Stay," and left a soft kit there. "Before he wakes up, put him on the thunder path or something." But then the dog's breathing slowed to a stop. He bled out very quickly. "There, the dog is dead. Now we don't have to worry." Blue Claw would sit there and saw Hawkstar. "Hello, Hawkstar," he said. We have killed the dog," he said proudly. "If you were wondering." "To help with the dog problem. But I will only fight representing my clan." Then he realized the dog was dead. They sat silent because they refused to leave our camp. "The dog was quite easy to beat," Lightning Roar said. I tore out their throat in a flicker of an eye." The leader didn't realize it was a dog. That's why they were allowed here. Hawkstar then went back to his own clan camp. They sat at the entrance of the camp, still bored. Other cats running in and out. He sat there. "Before I finish them off, I told them last time dogs and cats can't be together in the same place. This is not true with all cats and all dogs, but most cats in this forest hated dogs with all their guts. And no mercy. They'd kill them no matter what." There was a past Wind Clan cat, but it seemed it was just because their clan had died out. So Blue Claw was alright with it. They didn't seem too much harm. "I seek for help for what I believe to be White Cough. My clan is dead. There's no one left," Skillstar pleaded. "You deal with it, leader," Blue Claw said. promise tend to my cuts," as he said, as blood still was coming from his side from when he hit the rock. Ferntail was sitting on a moss bed. There were other cats already. Lightning Roar was already talking to Marbled Shadow. Lightning Roar eyed Blue Claw, closing his jaws. "Marbled, I have been flung at a rock and my side is bleeding. You think you could help?" "Oh, Fern," he said. Fern seemed to be having kits, and it was nice. He was happy for her. She looked up at Blue Claw. "You're having a kit," he said happily. Happy for her. "That's amazing," he purred. "Mm-hmm," she said. "I'll talk to you in a moment. My side is bleeding," he said. "Marbled, do you think you could help?" But he noticed Marbled was pretty busy. People seemed to be taking her herbs and using it for random stuff that wasn't even needed. So he decided just to grab his own herbs. "My side is bleeding from hitting a rock," he said, getting annoyed he was being ignored. He just took his own herbs and decided to heal himself, since Marbled Shadow seemed busy and it was getting bad. "Hello, Ferntail," Skullstar said, coughing weakly. He seemed to want to talk to her. "Do you know the father and if it's a girl or a boy?" "And no," she said. Dead Star came in, probably wanting to talk to Blue Claw. After all, they did just have a battle with a dog, and that wasn't needed. "I wonder who the father is," he said. "I must go." They went to have a talk. "Bye," Ferntail meowed. He dashed into the leader's den and had a talk with Dead Star immediately. He then went outside of the den because Dead Star was done. He walked around the clearing for a little bit and then ran back to Ferntail, seeing that Dead Star was missing. "Guys, the leader is missing. Stay here. I'm going looking for them," he yelled. He sat with Ferntail and just looked at her in the eyes. "Fern, I don't know if I'm coming back alive. 'Cause if something would have taken the leader and it was that must be very dangerous to take their strong leader. I think you're a great friend, he said. And I would be happy if I was the father of this kit. Fern looked up at him and smiled. And they stayed silent for a moment. I was wondering if you want to be my mate. It seemed that the kit had been born. It was laying right next to her. He didn't really notice, but he then did. Of course, she purred. The kit's adorable. All right, I must go find the leader. He ran out of camp quickly, trying to find where the leader was at. He didn't see them, so he ran around camp a little bit, trying to see if that was where they were. Maybe just outside camp, not kidnapped at all, but he didn't see anyone, sadly. He just decided to run to the entrance and stand there, maybe hoping he'd see the leader come out or come back in, but he didn't. So he went back out quickly, just not giving up on finding the leader. He was on the way out, he got pinned by a rogue. Deadstar had seen him get attacked by the rogue. Blue Claw was fighting for his life, hardly surviving from this rogue. It was a very, very strong rogue. To be continued. Well, that's the end of part 1 for Blue Claw's story. There is going to be a part 2 and maybe a part 3 coming out. So stay tuned. I'm not going to spoil anything. Just, if you want to, I will definitely make a part 2. And I'm definitely making a part 2 either way. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you all have a nice day, a nice evening, a nice morning, a nice afternoon, a nice night, whatever it is for you. If you want, you can subscribe. If you liked my video, that would be very appreciated. And hit the notification bell to know when I upload. And yes, I will be doing premieres way more often now. Well, bye everyone.